Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good Friday morning. It's December 11th. And yeah, so today we are going to be talking about our upcoming winter storms. We actually have several upcoming storm systems, and two of them are going to be snowstorms. So first of all, we have a Midwest one, which is actually starting to happen today. It's going to be happening this weekend. It's going to be bringing heavy snow to areas like northern Michigan and potentially in the areas like Iowa, southern Wisconsin, and northwestern Illinois. And then we have our potential nor'easter across the northeast, which actually could potentially be major. And we do have some changes to that since last night. So yes, let's get started with the video. So right now, this is our trough. This is our Midwest system right here. As you can see, it does not look perfect or anything, but this is what is going to be. This is the piece of energy with our Midwest storm system. See, that moves further east, kind of starts to fall apart a little bit towards Sunday. Then it flattens out completely. But then we have this down here. This is just going to be a southern rainstorm with some snowfall in the southern Appalachians. And then yeah, that's that moves east. Then that exits around Monday night. And this is our nor'easter. This is Tuesday morning. We have this piece of energy down into Texas and right here, especially kind of in the plains and the Midwest. So that's going to move east, then it's going to move northeast. And this is when our nor'easter is going to start to get going. So this is Wednesday night. You can see it does look to be strengthening a little bit. Not a perfect scenario for a strong nor'easter. But this could be one of the biggest ones of the month. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be the biggest one of the year. For some areas, it could though. If you're really lucky. So yeah, so that is that. Now let's actually look at the precipitation with these storm systems so we can see what they're doing. So yeah, so right now this is what we have with our first storm system, which is going to be impacting the Midwest with some snow. We have not a whole lot going on right now. We just have some light snow in areas like Nebraska, in northern Kansas, and we do have some showers going down into Texas, and we actually do have a severe weather chance in this area today, which that is right here. We have a marginal risk for areas of eastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, areas of Arkansas and Louisiana. Areas in that is Shreveport. Pretty sure Little Rock's right on the edge of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And Houston and Dallas. So yeah, we can see that. And then by the afternoon, we have this storm system starts to strengthen a little bit as it starts to get more organized. And we start to have more heavy snow in areas like Nebraska to the north of Omaha and starting to move its way into southern Wisconsin. And then by tonight, at around 7 to 8 p.m., we actually have some heavy rain in Arkansas and northwestern Louisiana right there. Looks like we have our warm front right here and our cold front right here. So a pretty simple storm system. And it's not very strong, though, so we're not going to have blizzard conditions or anything like that. Just some moderate snow for areas like southern Wisconsin, maybe mixing in, and areas of Iowa and Nebraska. Northern Michigan, though, could actually get some heavy snow. So we can see as we go into tomorrow morning, that's when it starts to really get going in Midwest and northern Michigan. We can see we actually have some moderate snow moving into Iowa and Wisconsin. And we have actually maybe some patches of heavy snow moving into Michigan with a little bit of wind. You can see these pressure lines are pretty close together. So we will have some wind with this as it starts to strengthen once it moves into Indiana and Michigan. And it will especially be windy really on the back side of this. But there will be some on the front side of this, or not the front side, but to the north of the warm front. And yeah, so Saturday afternoon we see more heavy snow for areas in northern Michigan. Now this has shifted north a little bit though, since yesterday's video. So a very slight bit though. So areas in northern Michigan are actually still going to get the heaviest snowfall. You can see that moves further northeast, and then by Saturday night, snow is starting to move out of Michigan. We just have some leftover moderate to light snow, and then by Sunday morning, it's gone. And northern Maine could actually get on some snow also. Actually, central Maine also, but mainly northern Maine. And yeah, so let's take a look at snowfall accumulations across the Midwest with this. We're going to use the European model first and kind of look at what's actually going to happen. We can see this is Saturday early morning. We have snow coming in the areas like Omaha and Des Moines, and that moves further northeast. We actually have some heavy snow mixing in the Midwest, like northwestern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and eastern Iowa Saturday morning. And we actually have some heavy snow for areas in northern Michigan also. So yeah, looks like Michigan is going to get hit the hardest with this, especially northern Michigan. Let's look at the total accumulated snowfall. So with this, we're going to have some decent snowfall across areas of southern Wisconsin. Now, I do think this might be a little bit overdone for this area, especially. I don't think we're going to see those amounts. Now, localized, we could see maybe up to 6 inches to 7 inches, but I don't think we're going to have widespread amounts like this. But yeah, we can see a decent amount of snowfall from areas like Omaha up through Des Moines up to around Milwaukee, and then some snow in northern Maine, which actually we could see over a foot in some areas. So now let's look at the GFS, though, because the GFS is slightly different. So let's actually get this. We're going to get that compare models loop. So snowfall funds, the GDPS has it a little bit further south. GFS high res has a lot less snowfall, actually, only about like 2 to 3 inches. That's probably a worst case scenario. And across northern Michigan, a lot less. The GFS V16 has actually a lot of snow, a lot further south. We have amounts of around 3 inches all the way down to central Illinois, and amounts almost 16 inches in northern Michigan, which you could see localized in the NAM model. The NAM, I think, is overdoing it for this area, actually a lot, but I think it's realistic for northern Maine. Maybe not west central Maine, but this area, I agree. I think that's right. I think that I think that the GFS or the GFS high res, GFS V16 probably is the best chance of actually happening, or the European. Those two models are the best. Now the NAM sometimes overdoes the amount of cold air. You can get snow. You can get heavier snow and more snow further south with NAM. But yeah, most of the time the NAM, or sometimes the NAM doesn't do that, and it's decent for snowfall forecasts. Now the NAM 3 actually has 16 inches of snow in southern Wisconsin, which that is a lot. So, I mean, we if you do live in southern Wisconsin, don't expect widespread 8+ inches of snow. If some areas, though, if you get stuck under those heavy bands, you could get maybe 8 inches, maybe up to a foot if you're if you hate snow and you're extremely unlucky, or yeah, you're unlucky. But yeah, so if you get stuck on one of those heavy bands, you could end up with a foot if you're in the right area, though. So yeah, that is the Midwest snowstorm. Now let's talk about the nor'easter, because the nor'easter is looking kind of fun or exciting. So this is only about 5 days out now, so we are getting closer to it. So first of all, we're going to be looking at the GFS model for this. So we can see this is Wednesday morning. We start to have some snow coming in the areas around Washington, D.C., all the way up into New Jersey and northern Virginia. That moves northeast. That actually, the GFS is uptrended on this a little bit, so we have more snowfall for areas like Long Island and New York City. As you guys can see, the GFS seems to have shifted a little bit further to the north. And so, but we actually have a little bit more cold air to work with. So Long Island could actually be in mostly snow. In New York City, if the GFS plays out, you could actually get some decent snowfall. And so then that moves northeast, of course, and we're just left with some light snow for areas in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, and Long Island. And even in the PA, we have some snow showers now. So this is going to be pretty short lived. From Wednesday morning is when it starts to move into the northeast, and then it's out by around Thursday morning. Out completely by Thursday afternoon. So we're gonna have to see because any slight or when this happens, that's actually likely going to change. But I think we have a decent idea on what's actually going to happen. Let's take a look at our potential snowfall with the GFS here. We're going to use the Gachera ratio. And yeah, so now let's go out to our winter storm. So yeah, so the heaviest snow is over southeastern Massachusetts, where we have around 8 inches, which is a lot. And New York City around 5 inches for you, and areas of Long Island around 3 to 4. So the GFS is uptrend a little bit. Yesterday it was last night it was just showing around 2 to 3 inches for most areas. So now we're starting to get some heavier amounts, and I think it's shifted a little bit further north. So we have some heavier snow, and it has leveled a little bit stronger. So we're able to get, or it's a little bit more organized. And the European, though, last night it was showing a very major winter storm. Now let's see if it's still happening. So you can see this is our Midwest winter storm affecting just northern Maine. Then this is our southern rainstorm that's going to be moving very quickly across the south this weekend into Monday. That brings a little bit of snow, according to the European, into areas of the New England and the Mid-Atlantic, especially the higher elevations. That's not going to be really a big deal, though. And then we see this is our nor'easter starting to come in. This is Wednesday morning. We start to have some snow coming in the areas like Washington, D.C., northern Virginia, and areas in Ohio also. According to the European, can get a little bit of snow. Then by Wednesday afternoon, we have extremely heavy snow for areas of Maryland and southern PA, and light to moderate snow moving all the way into New York. So the European has this thing very strong. And so this is Wednesday night now. They're actually Wednesday evening. We have a pretty strong low pressure system at around 998 millibars. Not as strong as it could be, but this is going to be setting a stage if the European does happen for a pretty big winter storm, actually a very big winter storm over the Northeast. Very heavy snow for areas to the north and north New York City, all the way up into areas like Albany, New York, Rochester, a little bit further west, or you're too far. You might be too far west in Rochester for this one, but this could shift. It's not likely though. And so yeah, a lot of snow with this. I mean, close that out. We go to Thursday at 60. And this just moves. This is Thursday night, or this is Wednesday night now, in the Thursday early morning. It's at 985 millibars now, so getting very strong. And we have very heavy snow right now by Albany, New York, moving into Burlington and areas of New Hampshire, and even Boston, having some very heavy snow mixing in. And then by Thursday morning, it's hitting Maine. And that moves northeast, and it's out by Thursday night. So this is a lot different than the GFS, though, because the GFS was showing really just a moderate snowstorm for areas like New York City and Long Island and maybe like southeastern Massachusetts. But then the European is showing a massive winter storm for all of New England. And let's look at a snowfall with this. This is going to be a lot. So we're going to go all the way out to Thursday at 60, and actually Friday morning at hour 180. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna look at the past model runs, see if the European is being consistent on this being a massive snowstorm. So this is a lot widespread heavy snow. Areas like Buffalo only around a couple inches, but areas like Rochester a lot more, of almost a half foot. And we have 1 foot amounts for areas of PA all the way down to Maryland and northern New Jersey all the way up into northern Maine. So very widespread. Now, some of the snowfall by Long Island and New York may not actually accumulate due to warmer temperatures. But in this area, all that foot of snow will likely accumulate. So this is going to be or if this happens, like the European is saying, we're going to have a very large winter storm. Now, the GFS, though, is completely different. It has this. Now, this would give areas like New York City and Long Island really just a good amount or a little bit of snow, or a decent amount of snow actually for New York City. It would just give them not really a mixing threat, just some snow. This would be kind of tricky though, because areas in central New Jersey are getting 0 inches. Areas like a little bit to the north are getting a foot. And southern Long Island could get nothing if this happens, like the European is saying. But northern Long Island could get almost a half foot of snow. So we're going to have to see what happens now. Let's look at the past model runs. So this is the 12Z from yesterday. You can see it had a lot more snow, around 20 inches in eastern PA. So it had a little bit more snow, but it didn't have it as far north. So today it seems like it's moved further north. And then before that, this is Thursday actually Wednesday night. It was a massive snowstorm for areas like New York City of over a foot, in areas like Boston. So the European is consistent with a little bit more snow, but in the latest model run, it does seem to have moved it a little bit further north and made the totals a little bit less. So we're going to have to see what happens with the next European model run, see if that changes. If it becomes like the GFS, we're going to just be having a pretty small nor'easter for areas like New York City and Boston. If it happens like the European, this is going to be a pretty major winter storm. Yeah, but that'll wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. But yes,